and whatnot. And just remember, you're healthy. You got everything working for you. Like just in life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know.
Yo, what's up, y'all, man? It's Randy C. Mays of the Aftermath Podcast. And this is a special edition of the Aftermath. This is called Pray, Chop, and Chill, man. And here, man, I explore different topics that that kind of intrigue me as I do day to day life. So, so last week I attended the Mind of a Man think tank, man, hosted by my boy Anthony Moore, and the topic of legacy came up. There was an older gentleman there. Well, he's early 50s, I believe, and he discussed that his legacy keeps him up at night. And so we kind of went around the room and we discussed what legacy was, what that looks like, and he said that his legacy was keeping him up at night, or what his legacy would be was keeping him up at night. And so ever since then, the word legacy kind of keeps coming up. So I'm going to share with you just a few clips that I found on YouTube that keep pertaining to legacy, because the word legacy just keeps coming up. And I have my thoughts on legacy. I have what I desire my legacy to be, which I'll share at the end. And I just want to try to help somebody, especially men who are concerned about what their legacy will be. So for now, y'all just check out this clip.
The rigmarole and just like the superficial stuff that just kind of like get on your nerves and whatnot. And just remember, you're healthy. You got everything working for you. Like just in life, it's fragile, and in the blink of an eye,
You never know.
you never know. So speaking of legacy, what do you hope that your legacy is going to be? It's a tough question, huh?
Yeah, yeah, especially
Kids
because
help with the
because
legacy
as
question, right?
yeah, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
and because I'm 54, I think about that a lot.
Mm-hmm. You've done a lot.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know if how many
mm,
people know that you've also like directed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was directing on Cosby.
Yeah, directing on Cosby,
Um,
Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, Sesame
So-
Street. I did about a third of the Malcolm and Eddie's.
Mhm.
But so it's interesting. I remember my mother said to me one time that Mr. Cosby gave you immortality,
Facts. That is very true.
right?
Mhm.
So I know on one lane, uh, there's legacy there, but also because my life, those former years were always about life beyond Cosby,
Mhm.
right? So I feel like, okay, there's that legacy there, but then because I've had this full life, after that show, uh, there's another lane of legacy that I get to leave, and I'm still working through that,
Yeah. I
because I
mean, it's
want.
it's it's not an easy question to answer. It's just like legacy. I'm like, wait, what?
I know.
I can't even answer it.
Yeah, yeah.
Never
Like,
having gotten married and having no kids, I'm like, what does legacy mean? And I'm in my 40s where it's just like an existential crisis is around the corner. You know what I'm saying? So
sure, yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
what does legacy mean? I don't even know. But so it's not the easiest
Yeah,
question, you
yeah,
know?
yeah. I don't know. I mean, like, there is part of me that I will be able to leave this earth, knowing and people knowing that I was a good person.
Hmm.
And I talked to my dad. I just talked to him yesterday, and what he said to me often, you know, uh, people love you, and people are always talking about, your career and your success and all of that.
Hmm.
He said, but what really makes me the most proud is that you are a good person.
Hmm.
And I heard it from my dad. It's like,
That's
yeah,
wonderful.
but I'm a good person because my dad's a good person. That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah.
So like again, it is possible to walk through this world, um, and with all of the darkness in the world, it is possible to maintain your soul
Hmm.
and be a good person.
It is. It definitely is. Um, and a lot of people, like, you've talked about, your albums, your
Wow. As we know, Malcolm-Jamal Warner just passed away this week on the 21st, and I believe that interview was shot on May 21st, and I believe that he passed away somewhere around July 20th or 21st. So almost 2 months after publicly acknowledging how life fragile is and discussing legacy on this podcast, he passes away. And even doing that, there's a clip where he says that you just never know what's going to happen. And so this gets one's mind thinking. Here's what I love though, is that number one, he didn't mention money or fame or houses or cars or all this stuff as part of his legacy. He wanted people to simply, after all those accomplishments and all the good that he had did career wise, he wanted people to know him as a good person. And so this takes me back to the conversation that we had at the Mind of a Man think tank, which there'll be one this week, the 27th. I don't know when I'll post this, but July 27th, there'll be another Mind of a Man think tank hosted by my boy Anthony Moore. The gentleman that sat there, he didn't know what his legacy was going to be. He didn't know what he wanted to leave for his son. And so I just kind of shared with him. I said, for me personally, I make it really simple. I know number one, I want to leave. Biblically, I need to leave an inheritance for my children. So that's quite simple, because all you do there is you go and get life insurance. So I have every type of life insurance policy you can think of. I have term, I have the one through the employer, and then I have a whole life insurance policy, which hopefully I'll make it into retirement and will one day be income for me. If not, I'll leave it to my beneficiaries. So the money thing is out the way. So now I get to focus on me and the personal development and the legacy that I leave behind. And I really kind of simplified this. I said that any area that I touch, church, in the education field, and then my career in law enforcement, will people be able, will my children and my children's children be able to mention my name at the church that I'm at, and they know that they knew a maze that led the way and that meant something, that served faithfully at that church, that is in the DNA of that church? Will they know me there? The next thing is that will they be able to go to at least the station that I'm assigned to and be able to mention my name, and it carries some weight? Now, they'll still have to do the work. They'll have to go and they'll have to work hard, but can they mention my name, and because of who their dad was, be extended a certain level of grace because of who I am and the life that I led? Education. I sit on the school board of a school that I went to, and I just want my name to mean something there. So what I did was I decided that I was going to create a scholarship, a giveaway, a MacBook giveaway that I intend to do for the rest of my life, and even after my life. I wanted to be in my trust that this award will continue forever because it has my name on it. So the legacy part, as far as the money, that's out the way. That's life insurance. That's taken care of. I don't even have to stress over that. I just pay monthly and it's taken care of. So now I really just get to focus on the work of making this last name, Mays, mean more than it's ever meant before. Can they mention my name and it means something to somebody? I'll never forget, I shared with the guys at the Mind of a Man think tank, I shared with them that my first day at the station, I walked in, 21 years old, I couldn't even grow a mustache yet. And I walked in with my duty bag, and they said that the minute bag bigger than you, boy. You dropping your daddy's bag off at work, and they gave me all this hard time. It was just jokes, whatever. And there was one guy that knew my dad, and that knew my aunt. He said, "You Mays?" I said, "Yes, sir." He said, "You good." Now, I didn't get any special or preferential treatment, but I knew that if things went too far, man, I had somebody who knew my last name because of the way that my dad and my aunt, who were amazed, worked in law enforcement, because of what they did and how they led their life, that because of who they were, they didn't even have to know who I was yet, but I was good. And that's legacy to me. That's the way that I want my kids and my wife, after I'm long gone, I want them to be able to mention my name in places and receive favor because of the life that I've led and how I led people, and the seeds that I planted and how I gave and how I served. I just need that last name. that they carry to mean something. Now I got one more clip that I want to share, and I just there's a pattern with men and people when it comes to legacy, especially famous people, is that they really don't mention the money. They want the name and who they are to carry some weight. So check this clip out.
You know what I'm saying? They can't talk to young brothers like Derek. And I take all that information, and not only do I give it to my inner circle and my friends, this is to anyone. Like, they'll tell you, my team will tell you, I probably send out about 30 books a month. Wow. To just different people, not my books. Wow. Books that I've read, that have changed my life, or books that somebody suggested to me. And I'm like, yo, bro, what you gotta read this. Tell me what you think. And to me, that's more fulfilling than selling a record. Wow. You know what I'm saying? That's more fulfilling than being on the stage, because I've probably got 3 or 4 texts since I've been here with people saying, man, I just appreciate you taking the time.
We'll finish the clip, but I got to point out that what he said was giving people data. You have to go back and watch his Den of Kings, which is an awesome show that Kirk Franklin does, where he has different people come to the table from different walks of life, and large platforms come. They sit down, they talk, and they share information. So what Jeezy says is that he says that he enjoys giving data that he's collected to other people. He loves giving knowledge to other people. And he says that feels better than selling records, which was his primary means for us. No, we only knew Jeezy as a rapper. So what Jeezy is saying here is that he used the platform that he was blessed with to really do his work, which was gaining access to people who have all of this data and then sharing it with other people. I work in law enforcement. So now that gives me a platform, and it gives me access to certain people and certain people groups and certain demographics that may be going through things. So now that gives me an opportunity to do ministry. The law enforcement gig is just a means that God has blessed me with to be able to pay my bills and support my family. That's not my only assignment that I have, is to go out and enforce the law. Matter of fact, the law enforcement piece is probably way down here because of the ministry and access to God's people that I have now. Just pay attention to what these men and these people, and this applies to women too, what they're saying about their legacy. He didn't say, I want to go down as the greatest rapper alive. Keep watching.
To hear me out and to suggest things. And sometimes it's just a ear. So if you ask me what's my legacy, is how much impact can I have in this time while I'm on this earth, and how much impact can I have when I'm gone, because I've lived full and I've died empty. You know what I'm saying? D, what's your legacy?
He said, because I've lived full and I died empty. He's saying, I want to take everything that God has put in me. He says, I want to take every connection that I've made and all the information I've learned. He's sitting at the table right now with Kirk Franklin and Tyler Perry. He said, I want to take all that information. I'm going to go share it with my partners. So I want to get filled up, and then I will pour it down on other people. And the impact that I've had on people is what I want my legacy to be. I want us to simplify it. I want us to take the pressure off of ourselves to go out and make all this money and grind, because honestly, I can go out and grind 80, 90 hours a week. And when I pass away, that paycheck stops. My family, my wife, she'll be able to collect maybe 1, maybe 2 more checks before the life insurance comes in. The work and the grind is not really sustainable because it stops when you stop. But the legacy that you build, how you treated people, how you made them feel, that lives on. I want us to shift our gears and take the pressure off ourselves. We want to go out and make all this money, cool. So if money's a thing that you want to go out and you want to leave your family, go get life insurance. But if you notice, these are millionaires. These are millionaires. I'm assuming Malcolm-Jamal Warner, if he's not a millionaire, he was close. And then you have young Jeezy, who has real estate. He has albums and he's going on tour now. All of these people with all this money and all this status and all these cars, they never mention the money. Only about how they make people feel. And that's something, men and women of God, that we can do for free. This is it, man. This is the first one of the Pray, Chop, and Chill a spinoff of the Aftermath podcast, man, where I kind of come and give y'all just different topics and thoughts as I kind of walk through life and experience certain things. This is information that I want to share with y'all that maybe one day will be a blessing to you or maybe even your children as well. This is something that I want to live on. Pray, chop, and chill, man. Aftermath podcast. God bless.